Welcome to our channel. Today, we pause to remember a life that touched hearts and left a lasting impact. We'll explore their journey, the challenges they faced, and the moments that made them unforgettable. Join us as we honor their story, celebrate their legacy, and reflect on the memories that will continue to inspire and live on in the hearts of those who knew them. The confirmation came quietly, without public attention. Yvonne Fedderson passed away on January 23, 2026, at the age of 90. The news did not arrive with headlines or ceremony, but it carried weight. For many, her name was not widely known. Yet her work had shaped lives in ways that rarely appear in the spotlight. Born Yvonne Gleeline on April 7, 1935, she began her adult life in Hollywood. Acting brought her early recognition and placed her in the public eye. Still, those who knew her well say she never saw fame as the purpose of her life. She viewed it as a tool, something that could open doors and draw attention to issues that others avoided. That awareness deepened when she learned about the widespread reality of child abuse and neglect in the United States. The stories she encountered stayed with her. They disturbed her sense of justice and challenged her to respond. Instead of turning away from the discomfort, Yvonne chose to act. She believed silence allowed harm to continue. Alongside her husband, television producer Don Fedderson, she co-founded Childhelp. The organization was created to rescue, treat, and prevent child abuse at a time when the subject was rarely discussed openly. Yvonne believed that protecting children required courage and honesty. She spoke clearly when others remained quiet, convinced that children needed adults willing to stand up for them. Childhelp began as a small effort but steadily grew. Under her guidance, crisis hotlines were established to offer immediate support. Treatment centers were opened to help children recover from trauma. Education programs reached parents, schools, and lawmakers, helping communities recognize and respond to abuse. What started with concern became a lasting system of care. Those who worked alongside Yvonne remember her leadership style as calm and focused. She did not seek attention or praise. She listened carefully, asked thoughtful questions, and followed through on commitments. One former colleague recalled that every discussion eventually returned to a single point: the well-being of the child. For Yvonne, that focus never changed. Her dedication earned recognition beyond the organization. Between 2000 and 2005, Yvonne Fedderson received 5 consecutive nominations for the Nobel Peace Prize. The honor reflected decades of steady work rather than a single achievement. Still, she rarely spoke about it. When asked, she once said the true reward was knowing a child could sleep safely. Yvonne believed that healing required more than rescue alone. Children needed time, care, and understanding to recover from trauma. Under her influence, Childhelp emphasized long-term therapy programs that treated children with dignity and patience. Shame had no place in healing. Trust and safety came first. Despite the emotional weight of her mission, those close to her say she carried hope wherever she went. She celebrated small signs of progress: a child learning to speak again, a smile returning, a family receiving support instead of blame. These moments, though quiet, fueled her strength and commitment. Her partnership with Don Fedderson helped extend Childhelp's reach. Together, they used media experience to raise awareness and influence policy, while remaining focused on practical solutions. Yet Yvonne often reminded others that lasting change happens slowly, one child at a time, away from cameras and applause. After her passing, tributes began to appear from advocates, survivors, and organizations around the world. Childhelp released a statement honoring her lifelong dedication to children without a voice. Survivors shared messages describing how the programs she helped build had saved their lives. Many had never met her, yet felt her impact deeply. Yvonne's work extended beyond national borders. Childhelp programs expanded internationally, adapting to different cultures while holding firmly to the same mission: protect the child, support the family, and educate the community. Her vision was broad, but her compassion remained personal. She understood that progress takes time. Laws change slowly. Attitudes shift gradually. Healing is never instant. Even in later years, she remained involved, offering guidance and encouragement. Age did not lessen her concern for children, it strengthened it. In her private life, Yvonne was remembered as thoughtful and attentive. She remembered names, asked about families, and wrote notes by hand. These small gestures reflected the same care she brought to her public work. Yvonne Fedderson did not chase recognition. Many people learned her name only after her death. Yet her influence lives on, in hotlines answered, counselors trained, policies improved, and countless children protected from harm. Her passing marks the end of a long and dedicated life, but not the end of her impact. The organization she helped build continues its work every day. Children are safer because she refused to look away. Yvonne Fedderson will be remembered as a quiet guardian. A woman guided by empathy, responsibility, and courage. Her legacy lives on in the lives she helped protect, steady, unseen, and deeply meaningful. The news arrived without noise or ceremony. William Herbert Foege passed away quietly, closing a life that had protected millions who never knew his name. There were no flashing cameras. No crowded stages. Just a still moment, and the weight of history catching up. He was a physician by training, but a guardian by choice. For much of the world, smallpox is now a word from textbooks. For William Foege, it was once a deadly reality that demanded action, courage, and patience. Born in 1936 in Iowa, Foege grew up with a sense of service shaped by faith and community. He did not chase prestige. He followed need. Medicine became his path, not for status, but for purpose. Early on, he believed health was not a privilege. It was a human right. In the 1960s, smallpox still killed millions across Asia and Africa. The disease moved fast and without mercy. Vaccines existed, but reaching entire populations seemed impossible. Many believed eradication was a dream too large to chase. Foege thought differently. While working in West Africa, he helped develop a strategy that changed everything. Instead of trying to vaccinate everyone at once, he focused on finding cases quickly and stopping the spread around them. It was called surveillance and containment. Simple in idea. Powerful in impact. That approach worked. Village by village, outbreak by outbreak, smallpox was cornered. Lives were saved quietly, often in remote places far from hospitals or headlines. In 1980, the World Health Organization declared smallpox officially eradicated. It was the first human disease ever eliminated. William Foege rarely claimed credit. When praised, he shifted focus to teams, nurses, and local workers. It was never one person, he once said. It was people trusting each other. Later, he served as director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. At the CDC, his leadership reflected the same calm resolve. He believed science should serve people, not politics. His decisions were guided by data, but grounded in compassion. Colleagues remember him as thoughtful and steady. He listened more than he spoke. One former CDC official said, "Bill Foege led by asking the right questions. He made you think about who would be helped most." Even after leaving government service, his work did not slow. He taught, advised, and mentored young health leaders. He helped shape global health policy and encouraged cooperation across nations. His voice carried weight, but never ego. During later health crises, including emerging diseases and pandemics, many returned to his ideas. The strategies he helped design became foundations for modern outbreak response. His influence lived on, even when his name was not mentioned. After his passing, tributes came from around the world. A former student wrote online, "Because of Dr. Foege, I chose public health. He showed us that saving lives doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks patient." The CDC released a statement saying, "William H. Foege changed the course of human history. His work saved millions and will protect generations to come." Another message, shared widely, read, "Most of us never met him. All of us live because of him." Foege understood that success in public health often means invisibility. When prevention works, nothing happens. No outbreak. No headlines. Just life continuing. That, to him, was the goal. In private life, he was described as gentle and deeply thoughtful. He enjoyed conversation, books, and time with family. Those close to him say he never separated science from humanity. To him, every statistic represented a person. William Herbert Foege did not seek fame. He sought solutions. And in doing so, he helped remove one of the greatest threats humanity had ever faced. His legacy is written not in monuments, but in absence. In the disease that no longer exists. In children who never had to fear it. In futures made possible by prevention. As the world remembers him, it remembers the power of quiet leadership. Of minds that work patiently. Of lives devoted to protecting others, often without thanks. William Foege is gone, but the world he helped heal remains. And in that living legacy, his work continues. The news came in quietly, carried through music circles and longtime fans. Francis Buchholz has passed away. For many, his name was not always spoken first. But his sound was always there. Steady. Grounded. Unmoving beneath the roar of guitars and the crash of drums. Francis Buchholz was born in Germany in 1954. He grew up with music around him, learning early that rhythm could hold everything together. He was never drawn to flash or excess. Even as a young musician, he believed the power of a song lived in balance. In 1973, he joined a rising band called Scorpions. At the time, they were building their identity. Loud, ambitious, and hungry. Buchholz became their bassist just as the group began its long climb toward global recognition. For nearly 2 decades, from 1973 to 1992, he held that role with discipline and care. His bass lines were not meant to steal attention. They were meant to support it. To lock the sound in place. To give the music weight and direction. As Scorpions moved from small clubs to massive arenas, Buchholz remained the same. Calm on stage. Focused in the studio. Albums recorded during his years with the band became classics. Songs that traveled across borders and generations. A fellow musician once said, "Francis was the kind of bassist every band needs. He made everyone else sound better." It was a quiet compliment, but a true one. During the band's most defining era, his playing helped shape their signature sound. The balance between power and control. Between emotion and structure. His bass was felt more than it was noticed, and that was by design. Fans often remember the frontmen. The voices. The lead guitar solos. But musicians understood Buchholz's role. He was the anchor. The steady pulse beneath the music. Without him, the sound would not have stood as firm. In 1992, he stepped away from Scorpions. There was no public drama. No loud farewell. Just a transition. It reflected who he was. After leaving, he continued making music, later joining Michael Schenker's Temple of Rock, where his experience and restraint again found a home. Those who worked with him describe him as professional and deeply committed to his craft. He arrived prepared. He listened closely. He played for the song, not for applause. After his passing, tributes came from across the rock world. One longtime fan wrote, "You may not have seen him first, but you always felt him. His bass carried the songs we grew up with." Another message shared online read, "Francis Buchholz gave Scorpions their backbone. His music will never fade." Band associates also remembered his character. "Francis was steady in life and in music," one former collaborator said. "You could rely on him, on stage and off." Buchholz never chased the spotlight. He understood his place in the larger picture. And in doing so, he helped create music that endured far beyond trends or eras. His legacy lives in recordings still played around the world. In the deep, steady rhythm beneath songs that continue to fill arenas and memories. In the way restraint can be just as powerful as volume. Francis Buchholz is remembered not for noise, but for foundation. Not for attention, but for impact. And as the music plays on, his presence remains, steady, grounded, and forever woven into the sound of a legend.